Hello, we're back again with some more antics. How are you, Governor?
Very well, thank you, Ref. Looking forward to tonight's episode. A bit of a springtime theme.
Oh, yes, with Easter coming up, right, this weekend.
Yeah, Easter weekend, and the clocks over in the UK have caught up with you guys and sprung forward last Sunday, and the weather's cheered up a bit. So it's feeling very spring in the air. Very lovely. Today was the warmest day of the year so far, and everyone's sort of smiling a bit. So
Oh, marvelous. And yeah,
let's hope it's tidings for a good summer. That's what I'm hoping.
so they say, right? And you normally get summer these days in like May, right? It always seems that way.
Yeah, it lasts for 2 weeks in May and then pisses down the rest of the year. That sounds
Oh,
about right. Not like the DreyBarrels over in Texas, where you are. The used to, the chillier climes of 20, 25, and then it's roasting up near 40 most of the time in the summer. I don't know
oh,
how you can bear it.
I don't know.
I suppose you're accustomed to it.
Yeah, I think we do, and I talk to a lot of old Texans here, and they say, "Oh, you never get used to it." But it's like I used to do a lot of outside work in the company I'm with now, and I'm more behind the desk now. But it was always like,
Took it.
oh, huh? What?
You look like a pen pusher.
But I was always like, I got used to it eventually, and I was like, and then you always think of that phrase, "Mad dog and Englishman go out in the midday sun." Do you remember that one?
Yeah, yeah,
And I felt like it, like the British of old would be out in, I guess, South Africa or
yeah,
India, struggling in the heat.
yeah.
Anyway, that's
Days
go.
of the old empire, the good
Oh,
old days.
we do miss that.
Uh, the
But
introduction of the Indian Pale Ale.
oh,
Oh,
that
sorry,
was
right.
no. I mean, that's a good point. We need to talk about that one of these days. The history of the IPA.
It may
Um,
be, yeah.
and
So the
beer.
spring has sprung.
Yeah.
So I have chosen this week a refreshing beer. Uh, I'll go into it a bit later, but I hope you've chosen something quite refreshing yourself, have you?
Yeah, we did have a look for some Easter eggy kind of themed beers, but I've
Yeah.
gone the same route as the governor there, a nice refreshing kind of a spring themed fresh
Yeah, I was
ale.
disappointed. I really did try to get my hands on that Cadbury's cream egg one, but they only did do that limited edition and they all sold out. And then the other sort of Easter themed beers I could see, I couldn't get it in time. It's just basically Easter ale. So, like we said before, like a Christmas ale. So maybe we're not missing out on too much. But no, I've chosen something a bit out of my comfort zone again.
Oh,
We got to
yeah.
push the barriers. It's a refreshing drink, so let's hope it lives up to expectation.
Well, I'm excited for that, and I guess before we introduce our beers, which I'm sure we're eager to do, get our drink on, we should introduce our first segment as usual, which is. I've got some beer news for you. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I hope you have, because I'm dry,
You dry, you drained out, so to speak.
rinsed.
Okay, well, I do, and it comes from this side of the pond today, and
Lovely.
it's basically just released, I believe, today, and the Brewers Association in America have today released their annual list of the top 50 producing craft brewing companies in the
Oh,
USA, and a second
oh.
list of the overall brewing companies, but obviously we're focused more on the craft beer scene, right? So.
Well, yeah, yeah. So what? So any that you've heard of? Any that you've
Yeah,
drunk
so
from?
let's kind of get down to
US
this.
only, are they?
It is
Distributed.
US only, so
Okay.
it's more for our American Dray barrels, but it's interesting, just.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So I just kind of give you a quick rundown of the top 10. Not all of them, but number one is a brewery called DJ Youngling and Son of Pennsylvania, and I've never
Oh,
heard of these guys. So
I've
it's
been to
all.
Pennsylvania, so
Oh, okay. Oh, well,
yeah.
yeah, you've got the edge on me there.
I was 13. I don't remember them, but I've been there.
Okay, and this is based on, I think, levels of beer consumed. So that's kind of where they base it on,
Oh,
basically.
so it's just based on volume. It's not based on
Volume and sales, not.
the best tasting or anything like that.
No, it's more of a consumption and I guess
Okay.
revenue kind of type of deal there.
Oh, I see.
So, but they do split it between craft beer and smaller and the small independent breweries, and then they go for the big commercial ones. But the one I do know, a very good brewery, is called Sierra Nevada, and they're based out of California. Fantastic. So they're number 3 on the list, which is exciting.
Sierra Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, Sierra Nevada, if you're listening,
Have you reviewed any of their beers before?
I
I'm not
have
sure you have.
not. I have not. So
Maybe you should try and grab one soon. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, the top 10, there's no others. I really noticed Stone Brewing actually was number 9, and I do recognize them, and they're out of California as well. So that kind of sums it up. I did want to mention that let me see, number 42 on the list was St. Arnold, which are,
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
right, yeah, and they're in Houston.
I love the little emblem of the saint on the. Yeah, I love
Brilliant.
that. Yeah, it's cool that.
I wonder if they got it off clip art. It kind of looks
Do you
familiar.
remember I had that T-shirt? Do you remember that?
You did, and it looked very similar to it,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
bishop, kind of.
yeah. That was a little tribute to our friend who now resides in New Zealand, Tony. So if you're listening,
Send him the link.
Dirty Sanchez still loves you.
So yeah, that was the kind of and Rogue Ales. I've had one of their beers, and they were like number 37. So just a quick mention before
So
we move
just
on.
give us the number one then. What sort of volume are they talking about? We're talking about a million.
Oh, it doesn't really say. It's just a breakdown. It doesn't break it up, to be honest. It just goes through state, city, brewery, and rank. So I can't say. I'm gonna have a definitely look at the number 1 brewery and see if I can find one of those, and obviously mention this. It'd be kind of interesting. Um, but overall, brewing companies, just beer in general. Number 1 is Boosh out of St. Louis, and I've heard of them. I think they do a few of the more commercial lagers,
Yeah.
and Coors is number 2, which you've
Oh,
obviously heard.
John's favourite.
Oh, he likes a Coors, doesn't he, the old chap?
Core. He does, doesn't he? He likes a core, and then after a few of them, he likes a few cores.
And actually, Heineken USA is number 4 on the list. So
What about Budweiser?
Budweiser, I swear, I'm trying to think who are they. They're owned by a different brewery, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I said it last week or the week before, didn't I?
You did. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think if it wasn't Heineken, was it? I could be very wrong. We should.
No.
Oh, it's not like Coors or one of those, right? Those bigger ones. Pabst Brewing.
No, I don't know.
That's one I've heard of, and I'm trying to think some of the beers, but they obviously they have different names. Founders is actually number 12
Okay.
on this list. So anyway, I thought it was interesting just to
That is interesting. I'll be
yeah.
interested actually to see. I know I've done a couple of European ones now, or definitely one, and I'm going to be branching out into a few more European beers. But I'd be interested to see the top one for UK. You know, obviously apart from Guinness. Well, Guinness is Irish anyway, but I'd like to see the top one for the UK. So I might look that up for next week, just a little parallel.
Oh no, that'd be great. Just for the DreyBarrels, just to kind of compare and contrast a little bit. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, watch the space next week. Anyway, do you want to get drinking there, Governor, and introduce your beer?
Right. Yes. So I will get drinking. I have chosen something spring-like, and as you can see from the can, colourful pinks, greens, yellows,
Ooh.
lovely sort of 70s looking art lady on there, which I'll get to in a minute.
She looks like a flapper from the 20s.
Yeah, well, you'll know who it is in a minute.
Okay.
I saw this the other day, and I thought, well, I'm going to try and get an Easter drink before Easter, but I didn't get round to it, so I went back and bought this one. This is a milkshake pale. Now, I've done that milkshake the other week, the milk foley, and I thought, well, I'm going to give them another try. It's not usually my thing, but we both said to each other, we'll get a refreshing drink and try something different. Well, this one is called Rhubarb Streisand.
Oh, brilliant.
So rhubarb's one of my most famous, not famous, what am I talking about? One of my most favourite
Takes.
afters or puddings or whatever you want to say. Rhubarb crumble, beautiful. I love that. And I like rhubarb taste. So the lady that you said looks like a 20s flappy is actually a silhouette of Barbra Streisand, I should imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't know it, but it looks very much like her, and the name hints that it could be a tribute to her. So it's a rhubarb milkshake. So should I get a pour on?
Oh, yes, please. And obviously she was big in the 70s, right? Barbra Streisand.
Yeah, she's one of the richest singers of all time, isn't she? But,
she is, it's surprising.
Maybe she's behind it. I haven't heard from her. Maybe she's brewing.
Pulling the strings.
Unless she's now living in Yorkshire.
So it's a Yorkshire brewery?
It's a Yorkshire brew. It's a UK brew. It's a Yorkshire brew. Look at that.
Oh, that
look at that. Hey,
what a head.
Anyone that's not watching, that's listening, it's looking lovely, actually. Really pretty little.
It is.
I've used a Beer Hawk glass because Beer Hawk do also supply this beer through their website as well, and there we go. I've still got some in the can, so I'll give it a go.
Yeah, let's have a tasting.
Really sweet, really sweet. Now on the back of the can it says it's basically a rhubarb and custard sweet in liquid form. So rhubarb and custard sweets from your corner shop when you was a kid. Let's see how we go.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's like at the moment, it's like a light tasting one of those sweets. Very refreshing. I can imagine that. I mean, for me, drinking it at 11:15 on a Tuesday night, I think maybe I should be drinking this on a summer's afternoon. But
down the beer garden.
No, it's a nice little taste to that. So I'll leave that there. I'll sip away. What have you got there, Ref?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have got Yellow Rose, and it's a Smash IPA, and it's.
Oh, you got a lady on the front of that.
I know. What are we doing today? Isn't that great? Hey, two ladies. Look at that. They could be best friends, couldn't they? You know, pink and yellow, maybe. But this is from Lone Pint Brewing, which is another Texas-based brewery. So I do a lot of Texas. You seem to do a lot of Yorkshire.
Well, Yorkshire's the biggest county. We've said this before. Not only in Britain, but also it holds the most breweries in Britain. Right. So there tends to be a lot from Yorkshire. I've found some very much more local ones, which I will be holding back for later episodes. I've done a couple, but there's ones that are within 5 miles of here now. So saving them back, I found out where I can get them easily, and we'll go.
Oh, that's exciting. It's interesting, isn't it? Just going off the subject, how you have these kind of meccas, if you will, for breweries and craft breweries. Like Yorkshire is a big one. Obviously, it's the biggest, but like Texas or is certain, like Colorado is a big place for breweries as well. And obviously,
it's just where most of the pissheads live. That's what it is.
There you go. Anyway, I'm going to pour my beer, and to let you know, I've had this before. It's one of my favorite beers, but obviously we've never reviewed it. So I wanted to do something really fresh. This is just a good fresh Smash IPA is just kind of perfect, you know, and you should always drink IPAs fresh, right? It
just looks lovely, the pour.
Right?
The head on that looks nice.
Oh, it's just
What's the name of the beer again? I
it's
missed
called
that.
Yellow Rose.
Oh, it is called Yellow Rose. Okay.
So, have you ever heard the Yellow Rose of Texas? It's a song, and it's kind of their almost national. Well, no, it's not their national flower because the bluebonnet is, but it's kind of a big symbol of Texas is the yellow rose.
How
Kind
does
of,
that song go?
oh, I don't know. I just know it's a song. I know, how embarrassing. It's a. I guess it's probably a country. I'll have to ask my wife on that one. Maybe that'll be
Well, I tell you what, I won't sing any Barbra Streisand covers, and
okay.
we'll call it quits. How about that?
You let me off lightly there, Governor. So always fresh, this one. And then we just have a taste of this gorgeous. I mean, this
It
is one
looks
of.
delicious. It looks delicious. That pour.
Oops, on my beard.
If I take my eyes off of your fingers, which put me off, but the actual beer looks lovely.
If you're watching, I've got a lot
Oh,
of foam on my old beard.
oh,
If you're listening, sorry, not watching. But yeah, it's very just fresh and kind of fruity and mm, hints of pineapple and mm. Oh, that's good. Grapefruit, I
oh.
believe they put into it. But
People at home, people that are listening to this, he's sporting his beard, which he likes to wear on his face, and it's just sticking to his moustache, if you will.
oh, look at that.
Oh, what's an
Sorry.
absolute fool! He
I just wanted that.
he's looking. I've said it before. He looks more like the Fisher King, the hobo every week.
Hey, it's
It's
a hipster beard. Hipsters came from Texas, so I'm just kind of following that trend.
yeah. Is it hipster?
Well, right, I don't. I like to think so. I don't know if you agree, but I try and keep it slightly trimmed.
It's
Um,
a bit vagrant to me.
on the railroads, like I hope.
We
But
watched the film when we were called the. What was that film called? It was called like The Mad Vagrant or something.
oh, it sounds like a horror film.
I watched it with Fran once, and no, it wasn't called The Mad. It was something vagrant, and you remind me of him.
Hey, think of this way. I might get a little taste of the beer later. Save it.
Hey, wife's in for a treat then.
Anyway, so I'll probably talk about this. I'm really enjoying this, but I'll talk about the brewery in a bit. I suppose you probably
What percentage have you got on that then for the drink?
percentage on Yellow Rose is 6.8. What about yours?
Mine's a 5.5
Okay, a little bit
rhubarb
like that.
milkshake pale. Shall I give it a little? I'll give it a little.
Yeah, I guess
about it.
talk about
So
the
it's the Barbra Streisand is from a brewery which go under the name of Brew York, which is actually Brew York Craft Brewery and Tap Room, and they're out of Walmgate, York, which we've talked about Yorkshire before in the historic city of York. They're actually within the historic walls of York itself. So they're in
right
town,
yeah.
15-minute walk from the station. And they've got a lovely riverside tap room there.
Oh, nice.
Looks stunning. It really does. The tap room looks a lovely place with riverside views, as I've said. But they've also got other bars and tap rooms in Leeds and a place called Pocklington. Sorry. So all around Yorkshire, they're doing really well. They've got some. They do cask, keg, and can, and they have lots of different events usually on throughout the year. They've got loads of beers, absolutely loads of beers. They've got at the moment they've really gone on with this delivery thing, such as Beer Hawk do and a lot of the others we spoke about before. But they're their own one, which is called Drinking Outside the Box, where you pay a fee each month and you get 9 beers delivered to your door. A variety of the ones they do. They were set up a few years ago, not too long ago, by 2 guys called Wayne and Lee, who met at a mutual friend's stag party, and they both found that they were beer lovers and had a lot in common. And within a few years, they launched their Brew York Brewery, and they're doing ever so well. They do everything you'd expect from a brewery. They do brewery tours. They do the tap room with over 20 lines, and their beer hall, which is 200 seater, has got 40 taps on.
40?
So, yeah, and the beer hall looks great. It really does look great. Their website's brilliant. You can order from their website.
So they're doing pretty well by the sound of it.
Yeah, doing really well. And it looks like a nice thing. I hadn't heard of them before.
Yeah.
It shows if you shop around. I saw this in a local craft beer shop, or a section of a shop that's craft beer, which is a smaller shop, and they were charging $5.95 a can. But I also remember seeing it somewhere else, and I got it for $3.60.
Oh, found the bargains.
Yeah, so no, I mean, it just shows, doesn't it? I mean, some of the fucking cans are like 8-9 quid in some of the places.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sort of like wine prices, aren't they? When you have an expensive glass of wine, it goes up and up in price. And
yeah, no,
just,
yeah, it's something we should talk about one day, because
maybe. But for 9 quid, you could get 10 good other beers, so it's one of those. Well, if you haven't got much money, what are you going to pick? But if you're going to treat yourself a one-off, then these craft beers are lovely for that, aren't they? Especially the stouts and things like this.
If you're not getting like a 6-pack, and that's the good thing about these places now. You can just pick one of this, one of that, and having a taste of different things.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, but some of these craft beer shops really do charge a lot. If you did go to the supermarket, you probably get them, not quite half price, but a bit more affordable.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a couple of the beers that they do.
Yeah.
Other ones, they've got a Chocolate Story, which is a milk stout, and then they've got one that I'd like to try, which is a gooseberry full sour.
Oh, that sounds lovely for the summer.
Which is called, yeah, right. And I like gooseberries as well, which is
maybe
called
late August.
It's called Goose Willis. Hey, you having that?
Chalk that one up, Dave. Oh, brilliant.
You've got a modern IPA called Haze of Thunder. You've got Los Moros Lager. And then for our British fans, they would know who I'm hinting at here. There's a fruity IPA, and it's called Juice Forsyth.
Oh, what did he used to say? Nice to see you.
To see you, nice. Hey, only a game show.
Brilliant. I like that.
For anyone that's listening, Juice Forsyth is a reference to a very famous TV celebrity over here, quiz show master, if you like, on the fun side of the quiz shows, called Bruce Forsyth. Very famous guy. He died a couple of years ago, but that's a nice little tribute to him. So
that's brilliant.
They look like it looks like a great place. They've got loads and loads of different beers, as I've said. They even do some spirits as well. A lot of these breweries do a little few line of spirits. And I saw just one thing before I pass over to you, that if you go on their website, there's adverts for April and May. Now, April the 9th, this is British times, they are doing a live tasting session on YouTube. Ooh. And that's between 7 and 9:30 at night on April the 9th. So I suppose in America, just knock 6 hours off of that. So it'd be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon till sort of 3:30. They're doing a live tasting session. They do one a month at the moment.
And what day? What
It
day
doesn't
of
say
week?
what they're going to taste, but I just imagine that it's one of their new brews, or
Yeah,
maybe just going over the ones they've got. But I thought that was quite a cool thing. I've not seen that before.
that's
So
interesting. That may be one for us to tune into and have a little listen. And any DreyBarrels out there will be kind of cool,
yeah,
especially in back home in Britain. Absolutely.
the can is, the artwork's really cool. I do like that. The colours, like we said, is spring.
Yeah.
It's got the little emblem at the top for the brewery, Brew York, and then at the bottom it has got a little beer hawk sign, which are those guys that deliver and everything like that. On the back, it's got a cool little thing about, if you're not sure about these things, it's got like a little sort of pie chart, if you will, or a pie hexagon,
Ooh,
and it's got different areas, and it says hop, fruit, sweet, mouthfeel, bitter, and malt. And then it colours in, like if it's a lot or a not. So you could pick this up, and just by looking at it, I know it's going to be sweet, fruity, and good in the mouth, like nice mouthfeel, not too malty and hardly bitter at all.
yeah.
And it's got hops in it. So it's quite a cool little way of looking at things, isn't it?
Definitely. I always like these little interesting things they have in the bottles and cans.
Yeah.
And you've gone for can this week, and I've gone for bottles, so it seems reversed.
And
But
it's got a retro rating of 4. I presume that they are records. 4 out of 5 on a retro rating, just like my shirt. Ooh,
oh, I was going to mention the Paisley today.
ooh, Paisley matches my pants.
We can't see those, but we'll go. We'll
I
go
know.
there.
I told you last week about going down the blue, but
But no. This is I'm working on American here. Pants are a different thing to pants in Britain, so don't. Yeah.
the great. I forgot about the Great Divide. Right.
The Great
Okay. So
Divide.
I'm pretty much done on these guys.
Yeah, sounds good.
Have a look at them. Brew York, Brew Craft Brewery. Type them in. Very impressive.
Definitely. I'm gonna have a look at them myself over here. I know I can't get them readily, but I'm gonna check them out and see
I'm
what
going to
they've
try
got.
and get that gooseberry one for like you said.
Late
You go on
summer.
about your sours in America. Now sours over here aren't as popular at the moment, or as readily available. Maybe a lot of places do sours, but they're not readily available. So
Well,
I'm going
that
to try and get this gooseberry sour, and I'm going to endeavour to try a few more sours this year.
well that Neon Raptor one I did this week in my mini review in Nottingham. They have some sours available, so
Yeah.
maybe you can find some of those.
Yeah, I can get them from order, but actually to buy off the shelf. And I will go into the craft beer shop in
Mm,
town once we're allowed to again, or we might be allowed to. But once I'm that way again, I will, and just see if they've got any sours,
yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. I've
just to
liked
try,
them
because I
before.
know how much you like them.
Oh, they're great. And like I said before, and I've said it many times, it just kind of reminds me that when we went to that pub in the West Country, I know we didn't enjoy it at the time, but that was more in the style of a sour than a cider. So I think historically, old West Country, old farming ciders would have been sours, basically. That's kind of where it comes from. Hey, listen, I'm just going to apologize to anyone listening. There is a bit of static today. It probably resolved. We can't exactly hear it too well ourselves, but it's filtering through a little bit. Just wanted to mention that to anyone listening. There's a little bit of static coming through.
Really,
So, but yeah,
I
hey,
can't hear it. I cannot hear it. This, so maybe it's this fucking thing.
yeah, I don't know, but hey, it's all right. Drink your beer and listen along, and we'll get it resolved next week. And I'll just get into my brewery. Um, Lone Pint Brewery, and they are based in Magnolia, Texas. So, if kind of geography a little bit here, Magnolia, Texas is where I'm based in San Antonio, which is kind of south central, and it's kind of, sorry, east of us towards Houston, and
Yeah.
it would take me about 3.5 hours drive to get there. But it's kind of just outside Houston, so it's more of a straight shot if you're in Austin, which is a little bit further north for me. So that's where they're based. I've never been there. I'd like to go at some point. There's a wonderful fish and chip shop apparently in Magnolia, Texas, for the Brits.
Oh, I
Yeah,
like the name Magnolia. That's cool.
isn't it great? I love a magnolia tree. And interestingly enough, just a little side note, I've brought this beer back to the UK in my case previously, and we've had it with fish and chips. And it's a very good pairing for fish and chips. It works so well, you know? So just a side note, and there's a chip shop in Magnolia, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it sounds it.
Anyway, the brewery itself, it was a dream shared by a brother and sister, 20 gallons at a time in two-car garage or garage if you're at this side of the pond. After perfecting the recipes, choosing the yeast strain, and fine-tuning the water chemistries, Lone Pint Brewery set up and began production in 2012.
Wow.
So, it's been around for a few years.
I
It's
like the fact it started in a garage. I like that.
isn't that brilliant? It kind of reminds me of Lovejoy with his little antiques stuck in a garage.
Don't talk about Lovejoy in my hair. Come on. I'm debating whether to cut that bit off. It's a
Well,
bit too bouncy when I go running. It really fucks me off.
yeah, if you
I've come
listen,
so far. So far.
if you're listening, he's got some long locks going on here. He's gonna definitely getting towards well, it's gone past the mullet stage, right?
Well, I mean, for years I was always known as a skinhead, when just because I have this sort of kinky hair. But
Yeah, you always used to shave it. And I always had the floppy kind of fob look, and it's kind of
yeah,
cursed now.
but then I said before, didn't I, that now a lot of my old mates and that have gone bald. I just think I've grown my hair just to take the piss.
Just
Don't even want it. I don't even fucking want it.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. All of us are going bald, and you're okay. But there we go. It's in the genes, right? So their kind of thing is like drink local. I won't talk much more about them, but I just want to kind of talk a bit about um, where they're set up. They're not big. They have like probably about 6 or 8 taps there. It's not a big range of beers. Essentially, they
So
keep
they're not, obviously they're not in a garage anymore.
No, they've got
They've
a
got a
nice
different
yeah.
outfit now.
Yeah, they've got a big brewery out there, and they got a lovely outside space set up. You can sit outside and have a beer outside, and they've got their production facility there. They only have the one location in Magnolia, Texas. So yeah, and I'll just mention a couple of beers that they do, if you don't mind.
So I like listening to the names of the beers.
Well, you like this one because this one I've talked to you about before. One of their big ones that you find a lot.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. Talk to me. It's called Gentleman's Relish.
Oh, fuck off.
And it's actually a guy that it's a brown ale basically based on British English brown ale styles, and it's a red coat, if you will, in his red uniform, and he's got an American flag here, and he's holding a barrel with a Union Jack on it,
That's
and it's
nice.
got USA scrolled across it. So
You can drink as much Gentleman's Relish over there as you can stomach.
so I really want
They have a
to.
lovely head on that one.
I want Martin, like we did last week, to kind of explain what gentleman's relish means in.
I am concerned that for 2 weeks in a row, you are deliberately steering this conversation towards.
Hey, it wasn't me. I
Unnecessary.
said the name, and you got another context for it. So you probably should explain to our Drey barrels, right? Oh,
Explain what? What do you want me to explain? I will. Go on.
it's all
What
right.
gentleman's relish is referred to in the UK?
I think you probably should, or DreyBarrels can look it up. What do you
Okay.
think?
Well,
As the governor,
if someone if someone came over and said, "Oh, I've got a beer for you. Would you like it?" I said, "Oh, yes, please. What's it called?" Gentleman's relish. I wouldn't drink it because gentleman's relish in the UK is an old sort of 60s, 70s, maybe 50s. It's like a bit of a slang word
yes.
for what gentlemen can make and women can't.
What, in private? You're talking
Yeah.
about ownerism?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I knew you'd talk about it, but yes, it's an onanistic result, and you wouldn't want to drink any of that.
So now
So
you,
that's it. I ain't going further than that.
no, that's fine. I think you kind of summed it up a little bit on the Dray barrels. If they're that curious, there's what's it called? Urban slang on.
I don't mind swearing on this program,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do not want to
We're
talk about sexual juices.
how do we get this into this?
You do 2 weeks running.
Hey, I just
Your
mentioned
beaver
the
out.
beer.
You've whopped your beaver out last week, and now you got gentleman's relish, and you don't even talk about the beer you're reviewing. Like gentleman's relish, all
Oh,
over your hands, everything.
hey, let's just move on quickly. You've heard it now, and we're gonna try
I
and
dread to
keep up.
think what you're going to turn up with next week.
Oh God. Okay, and just a couple of more beers because we need to get moving here and get out of this gutter. So the governor says also do a chili porter, and this is actually a special release. It's not available all the time, and it's called Undead Head Ed Ghost Chili Porter. Oh, your wife would love this one. Um, so that's
Right.
just well, she loves all the Halloween stuff, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and they also do an American strong ale, Tornado Shark. It's called. That's pretty cool. Wasn't there a movie about sharks coming through tornadoes or
Oh,
something?
there's fucking loads of them. Sharknado
Oh,
5
that's it.
and all that shit. I just baffle about them films. Like, you might get away with one. Okay, a tornado comes, it whips up, load of sharks in it, load of people get killed, all right? But
Yeah.
when they're on like the fourth or fifth one, who the fuck is watching it? But more to the point, who the fuck is funding it? Do you think it's like a lot of these sort of because it's not like one that would be in a cinema, it would be like a TV movie type of thing or
Yeah,
DVD.
Sci-Fi
Obviously,
Channel,
no
right?
one rents DVDs anymore, but maybe you might stream it or something like that. But to think, oh, I've watched the previous 4 Sharknadoes. I wonder what's going to happen in the 5th one.
Well, like Police Academy 5.
Hang on a second.
Oh, is this?
Well, no, because Police Academy, you could understand. Like Police Academy, they go on missions, they're training and all that.
Yeah, this is true.
But Sharknado is very, very niche.
Stretching an idea too thinly,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they could have really thought about it and gone for Shark Tsunami or
Where it's on a
Shark
global scale.
Cyclone
World
or,
War
or
Shark.
Lava Shark, where these demon sharks come up from a fucking volcano or something. But when
Shark
it's
from
like the
space.
4th or 5th one of the same thing, I mean, who do they think they are? Rocky? It's not Rocky, is it?
No, it's not on that level. Absolutely not. Don't even compare the two.
No.
Anyway, yeah, we're going off subject, as you Dre Barrels love, always. But yeah, Lone Pint Brewing, they are open 7 days a week. Go and check them out if you're in the Houston area. I know we have a couple of Dre Barrels down there, which I know of. So, Good brewery, in my opinion. Very small, very limited, but that's all I'm going to say about these guys. And cheers.
Steer clear of the relish,
Yeah,
especially you with that beard. Oof.
I've actually had the I've had the relish, and it is a good brown ale. So it's actually one of the more readily available beers of what they do. They do one called a Jabberwocky as well, and
Oh,
it's like an
cool.
IPA. They specialize on fresh IPAs, and that's kind of their thing, you know. So
Fresh gentleman's relish.
oh,
Okay.
goodness, so that's very fresh.
Oh, man. Mate,
Anyway, so do you want to talk anything about your brewery before we go to our final segment, or are you good?
no, I'm all right. I've given them a little shout out. Their website explains anything more that you want to know. I would love to go there. Like York. I know that you and your missus want to go to York, and this place is in.
2023.
Sorry.
That's when we go in. 2023.
Oh,
So,
right. Oh, that's weird. That was the summer I was going to come to Texas, but
oh shit. Boats in the night, right? Just
you're getting back to seamen again. I see. Right. Anyway, folks, you can see how this man's mind thinks. But yeah, the website's great. If York is a very popular place for American tourists.
it is, yeah.
Such a beautiful city and lovely historic place. So
Yeah.
if you're up there, give these guys a look. And like I said, their brewery does tours. Give them a go.
Wow, fantastic. It's worth a look in, and I think we'll have to do it when we get over there. It's definitely on my list. But we kind of move now towards our final segment, DreyBarrels, as you all know. And if you're listening to the first time, this is what it is.
Oh, it's Dregs of the Week.
Hey?
Sorry, did you hear that or not?
Oh, it's Dregs of the Week.
Yeah, I heard it. I just, for a second there, I honestly thought that little fucker Terry was back around your house.
Oh shit! It sounds. I think he was. Yeah, it sounds a lot like him, and he used to shout that out.
The best thing you ever done was let him go or sack him, whatever you did.
Yeah, I worry sometimes. He'd be knocking on this door as we're in a podcast.
He won't be using the nut. He'd just be pressing the bloody
buzzer.
Well, maybe if he can reach it.
Relish.
Bastard. Anyway, yes, Dregs of the Week. Have you got? I've got one.
Yeah, do you want to get us going? Because I started last time. Do you want to give us
Yeah, I've got one. I've got one. In England or Great Britain on Monday, we have started to move out of lockdown. Now, we've had 3 lockdowns over here, and this third one is the big plan to get us out of lockdown, get everyone inoculated, and get back to normal, and hopefully never go into lockdown again. Now, Monday, the restrictions started to lift slightly, which is now we can meet another family or groups of 6 people can meet outside, right?
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous, right? But it's a big step forward because
absolutely
you haven't been allowed to. So what happens in this country? Everyone in the cities go fucking mental ape shit and all head down the park, which is fine. But gathering in great big crowds of 1,000. I mean, they're young people. I get that, right? They're young and they haven't seen each other. A lot of them been able to congregate, but come on. This is how this fucking virus spreads.
I saw it.
Have a bit of savvy about you. There's fucking thousands of them down there, all over the country, mixing and all this, and we don't want to go back into lockdown. Come on.
And this is unvaccinated because right now,
unvaccinated generation,
yeah.
So they're all going down there because at the moment we've come down. We're vaccinating people between sort of 50 and 60. at the moment. Everyone above that has been offered the vaccination, or either had it or going to have it, or have decided to abstain. But the younger generation, people in their 20s, haven't got it. Now, you can carry it, like we know, and pass it on unknowingly. And just because you've had the vaccination doesn't mean that you still can't get it. And I just think, for fuck's sake,
idiots.
Yeah, idiots.
Fucking idiots.
Everyone, sport in this country, live music, which is a big thing over here. Everything that young people love has been taken away from them for the last year.
Yeah.
Going to football matches and watching live sport, going to gigs, festivals have been cancelled. Now, if you want to go to the festivals that they're promoting at the end of the summer, which is late August and early September, the only reason they will go ahead is if we don't go into lockdown again or it gets extended.
Exactly.
So have a little think.
It's going to be a kind of a butterfly effect here where you are doing stupid things. You're not using your bloody brain. And then,
they talk about the third wave in Europe. The third wave.
Yeah.
We are trying to avoid the third wave in this country because we're well ahead of the rest of Europe. Chalk it up. With the inoculations.
Yep.
But in Germany and places like that, it's spiking, and Poland, it's spiking worse than it ever has. Now,
Brexit.
No. Yeah. Fuck. No, but come on, we want to get our live music, our live sport. We want to get normality back. Just take a backward step. Meet your friends, stay social distance, and do it like the government want us to do it. And then by June, which is the last step, June 21st, I think, by then we should be out of it. But if they fuck about now, they'll extend the lockdown.
It's just being sensible right now and just
being sensible. My dreg is with young people. I can't blame the generation for wanting to meet each other.
Yeah.
But it's just the dreg with the situation itself. And come on. Hold your horses there, Sadie.
Hold your horses now. And it's kind of like using your head a bit. Just be sensible about these things and just think about it. And just, you're hindering everybody. Don't be selfish at the end of the day.
You stay out in the snow long enough, you're probably going to get a bit of frostbite. And this is the same.
That's a good drag, and I'm totally on board with that. I don't know if you'll be on board with mine this week, but...
Well, mine was going to be some bullshit one usually about driving, but I thought I can't put the DreyBarrels with another one of them. So
another driving one. I've held back on my driving ones over here.
Okay, well, let's have yours then, Riff.
Okay, well, mine relates to some correspondence we've had. I had a letter in the post this week from a DreyBarrel. And I'm going to read the letter, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
And it's a personal drag. But dear Mr. DreyBarrels, I can't do the accent. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I was thoroughly impressed with your fantastic St. Patty's Day special.
Oh, fuck.
There's a drag there. As a lover of all things stout, it was a veritable treat. Y'all cut a fine swagger with these reviews. I just wanted to make a comment on my own preference of drinking Guinness. So it kind of relates to Guinness, actually. There might be one for you, actually. I actually prefer to drink my Guinness out of the can instead of a glass pour. Right. This is, in capital letters at the end, this is my way. And then it rounds off, your loyal DreyBarrel, Alex from Houston. I won't give his address, but that was from Alex, if you're listening, DreyBarrel from Houston.
Mr. A. Okay, I'll refer to you, Mr. A. So I love the fact that you started that letter by saying you couldn't do the accent. You assuming that he's from Texas, he might be an Englishman over there. He might be Alex from Australia.
P.S.
Oh,
Sorry, I meant
how
PS.
convenient.
No, I forgot, and it was on.
P.S. My name's Alex, 48 and a half from Houston, Texas.
No, P.S. He is actually he's not from Texas, but he is from one of the northern states. He says so. He moved here originally, and he's based in Houston, Texas now. Is Alex, and
What a bizarre thing to put, though. It's like me saying, "Oh, hello, I live in Devon, but originally I'm from one of the northern counties." Well, it's very, very vague, isn't it? It's very vague that. He hasn't said he's proud, I'm from Michigan, I'm from Oregon, I'm from New England.
no,
He hasn't said anything like that. He's just said, I'm from one of the northern states.
I know.
Julian.
I almost missed that, and I'm almost like,
I mean, you've
well,
only got fucking, well, there's, say there's 25 above and 25 below. You've only got 25 to pick from it, but no, he just refers to the northern states.
hey, I may have to respond because he did give the address, and I may have to respond to a comment on my own. I mean, my drag, and I didn't state this, my drag, and it's a personal, I guess there's personal preferences here, but having a Guinness out of a can as opposed to having a pint glass, I don't know if you agree with this.
No, I agree. I mean, we're going back to the Paddy's Day one, and I
Yeah,
gave a little lowdown on Guinness. I didn't go into it too deep because most people have had a Guinness, so they know what we're talking about. But
yeah,
a big thing with the Guinness is the theatre of the pour. I mentioned that before.
exactly. You're not seeing what's happening in that can,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You get the cascading, that's what they called it, of the bubbles going down the glass and then coming up through the middle, which achieves the head. It's bizarre that they would drink it out of a can.
I can't fathom it. I'm sorry, Mr. Alex, but I can't fathom it. I always make the effort to always have a pint glass and pour it that way. It doesn't matter what beer. I
You
mean,
don't have to necessarily have a pint glass, do you? But
no,
if you're going to have a Guinness, most people have some sort of glass in their house. And
absolutely.
I've had a Guinness in a glass much like this.
Yeah,
Occasionally if I've, as you Americans say, split a can with my missus, if we've only had one left and we split it and we've poured it into a big old wine glass or a couple of tumblers each. But that's why you do it. You pour it, you let it settle, and
yeah.
that's the Guinness, isn't it?
Definitely. And actually, my wife has started. She had her first IPA recently, just for all you DreyBarrel. So we may start splitting an IPA together down the line. So
It's a slippery slope.
I know. She started on the margaritas, and now she's going to the
It's a
IPA.
slippery slope.
All right, my love. If you're listening, watch out. You'll be joining us soon. Oh dear.
The only one I'll get sense out of is your son. Oh dear.
Oh my God, that's a worry. Anyway, DreyBarrels, we've come to the end of our lovely hour, and we're going to round this off and saying thank you for listening, thank you for watching, right? And I don't
I'm gonna mark my beer.
Oh shit, let's do that quickly.
Hey, come on, not 2 fucking reviews running.
I know.
Right, now this beer, as I said, these milkshake ones are foreign to me. They have been foreign up until the last couple of months when I've reviewed another one, and I think I had one last year. It's not my go-to thing, but I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one more than the other one I had previously. And Rhubarb is a favourite of mine. There's a vague hint of that. I was a bit worried it was going to be too sickly and it was going to be too sweet, like you've mentioned, but it's just nice. And a few beers of this in the summer, and I will look out for the gooseberry one. I think go down a treat, in the afternoon before you hit the good stuff in the evening. But I'm going to mark this as if I was marking. Well, no, I'm going to mark it as we do on the 1 to 10. I'm going to go with an 8. Oh. I've enjoyed it. and I
Brilliant.
would drink it again.
Yeah.
Couple of beers I've done, I've drunk and thought, oh, won't bother with that again, but I would drink this one again. So it's an 8 for Barbra Streisand.
Oh, your accent's better than mine. So I guess mine, I've reviewed this beer before on Untapped. I believe the DreyMen are going to be starting an Untapped soon, a joint DreyMen's account. But I'm going to rate it as
Hey, hang on a minute. You've just persuaded me to go on this Instagram thing. I think I need a bit more information on this.
It's Untapped. If you listen, obviously a lot of DreyBarrels know you can rate your beers. It's kind of a social media for beers. But I'm just kind of going off that. I love this IPA. It's one of the best I've had. I've had IPAs both sides of the pond. This is fantastic. It's one of the best I've had. And this is a 9 from me.
Fuck a duck. That is high praise indeed.
Great. It's just, and I think some ways a lot of these big high-ranking breweries just do limited kind of beers. You know, these guys only do a few, and maybe they just kind of capture it just in a small.
Yeah, they hone their skill.
Exactly. You know, so yeah, a 9 from me, and
an 8 and a 9 for 2 springtime beers. It's been a good week.
It has, and we probably want to wish you all a wonderful, happy Easter.
Yes, indeed.
Enjoy your eggs, enjoy your beers more.
You know, think of our Lord.
Of course, it's the biggest Christian.
Not Voldemort, the other one.
The other Lord, the more important Lord, I would say.
Not Ozzy Osbourne, the other one.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
But we just have a wonderful Easter. Enjoy Good Friday. Enjoy Easter Monday. And there's no...
Enjoy Good Friday. I've never heard anyone say enjoy Good Friday before.
Well, you have a day off, don't
I don't.
No, I don't, actually. It's for the privileged. Yeah, we got to work. There's no holidays in America, by the way. Just dropping that.
I bet Jesus wish he had Friday off. How fucking good for him, was it?
No, you're right. And on that sad note, I suppose it could end.
Yeah. Well, it's been lovely to see you again. The added extra hour this week has made us go a bit later. Oh, it's bang on midnight here. So wish everyone the best, as he said. Echo his sentiments about Easter, and we'll see you next week.
We will be back as always, and we shall see you next week.